everyone for coming here today and joining us. I want to thank the Guardian Angels. I want to thank community leaders and local organizations. And we're here today to talk and be against illegal prostitution and its proliferation in today's society. Today we're joined by Hernando Salinas from the Guardian Angels, who will later speak about their investigative work on how these type of businesses, prostitution, have ramifications on a daily basis on Roosevelt Avenue. We're also joined by Daniela Rodriguez from Mujeres Latinas Unidas, or Latin Women United, who will talk about how it affects our community. We're also joined by Dr. Edith Yankovic, who is a child psychologist, who will talk about how prostitution and the promotion of prostitution is affecting our youth. We also have Luz Amanda Giraldo, who's the president of LAIA, the Latin American Immigrants Alliance, who will speak about the situation and how it affects our communities and how it hampers the positive work that needs to be done. We're also joined by Yonel Letelier Sosa, who's the president of the Hispanic Junior Chamber International Club. Today we're here to talk about prostitution and the promotion of prostitution. We want to thank, unfortunately for what has occurred, Elliot Spitzer's situation has brought to the forefront the problem of prostitution, the problem that we have been living with day in and day out on Roosevelt Avenue. This issue has been affecting our community for many, many years. I am referring to the promotion of prostitution of this nation, where on a daily basis on Roosevelt Avenue, you will see this. You will see cards handed out day in and day out to men, women, children. People will stand on Roosevelt Avenue and call out chicas, chicas. In other words, girls, girls, girls. And day in, day out, our children are receiving these little cards. We're here today by the park, by the school, by a local school, and right a block away from Roosevelt Avenue, where these type of cards are handed out on a daily basis. Spitzer's situation has brought to the forefront this prostitution issue. As I said earlier, we have been living with this day in and day out. This is a problem that we need to address here in the community. And what we're trying to do, I'm here as a local assemblyman telling you that I am joining the local community groups, I'm joining local community leaders to say that this epidemic has to stop. That we have to stop demoralizing our community because it affects the men, women, and children of our society. We have to work diligently to make sure that this type of propaganda stops in our community. I've introduced legislation just this week that says that anyone who promotes this type of prostitution anywhere, it's going to be charged with not only an A misdemeanor, which now is up to 1 year worth of jail time, but will be charged with an E felony, which is up to 3 years worth of jail time. And this is going to arm our district attorney and the police department with a much better tool to get these individuals off our streets. Because what's happening currently is that these individuals get stopped, they get pulled in, they get dragged into court, and they're slapped with a fine, and they're let go immediately. Okay? We have to end this. That's why we're calling also on the recreation of the Roosevelt Avenue Task Force. Years ago, Roosevelt Avenue had a task force that was funded by the federal government, the state government, and on the city level. On all three levels, there was this task force that its main focus was to make sure that this type of smug, this type of promotion was eliminated on Roosevelt Avenue. And it worked. It worked for many years until funding stopped. So I'm calling upon Congressman Joe Crowley, Congressman Gary Ackerman, who represent this area. I'm calling upon the state legislature, myself, to add funding in the state budgets that we can bring back the Roosevelt Avenue Task Force. And I'm calling upon the city, I'm calling upon the mayor, I'm calling upon the city council members that represent this area to join me in funding the Roosevelt Avenue Task Force so that we can make sure that this type of nonsense stops and our children do not get psychologically damaged due to the fact that they're receiving this on a daily basis on Roosevelt Avenue. So in a way, the Spitzer situation has brought this to the forefront, and we want to make sure that we eliminate it and we bring it back to our community and we make sure that this does not continue.